Hey, this is Brook from Printerbot.com, and welcome to Thursday's Printerbot Live. It's 4:30 on the money. Okay, maybe it's 4:36. So 6 minutes late. So that's about right for me. So I'm right on time. But anyway, I'm glad you're here. Getting right to the point. This is the finalized, and I'm talking about the files are done. Everything is tweaked, tons. This is what we have shipped today. So it's Beer Thursday because we shipped. And I'll be honest, one. Don't make it like if you've ordered one, unless you're Rick Scott, I think, and he was the guy who had to sign his bot. So unless you're him, yours didn't ship today. But tomorrow, there's a good chance we'll get some more done tomorrow, and I'm hoping for more than one. So I don't want to make any promises, but we're going to be 2 weeks out just on the money, so it's cool. We're very excited to be shipping the Smalls. So that means the files are done. So I have gone over and over, and we even had some of these parts totally done, and maybe not in the bag, but like all laid out, ready to ship. And I said, we got to change that part. We got to change that part. So all the tweaking should be done. You've got 4 inches of travel, 4-inch bed by 4-inch. Here's the little Easter egg that I was talking about. I don't know if I can do this without a wrench. There's one screw right here that if you take that screw out, you actually get, there it goes, 6 inches of travel. So I'm going to show you that model. So anyway, it just looks really nice with the handle and the faceplate here and the case here. I don't know if we have one with, where'd that little power switch part go? Anyway, so this is totally finished, exactly like the instructions will show you how to finish it. I did want to show you, I'm expecting you to print this part, the handle and this little faceplate. So it's not a lot, but it is something that you'll have to print. So in lieu of this case, your model will come with this part instead of this part. And the switch will mount right there, and the power plug will mount right there. So it just kind of brings it in, allows me to print just a small part. It is pretty sturdy, so you could use it, no problem, without this case and the faceplate and without the handle. It's just that the handle makes it a little more comfortable, and I think stylish. And these cases, it's just so not, I love a clean bot. So there you go. That's the, you can put them right there. That's the finished, and I've shown this with various extruders. This is the one we're going to ship. So I went back and forth. Do we do the V1 simple, the V1, I don't know, what do we call it? Which one? The one that we're not shipping. It was just the alu extruder, I think. We went to a V2 alu extruder, and this is the plastic version of the 2. So what I wanted to do was both keep my costs low, so there will be the plastic injection molded version of the V2 extruder. And the nice thing about this is it's really easy to live with. It's forgiving. It does do Ninja Flex, and I just couldn't live with the fact that that V1 alu doesn't do Ninja Flex. So there you go. And so this is the other part that you didn't see last week. I think I lost, one of my feet came out. I got the wrong hole sizes in this particular model. Little feet. Anyway, this little guy is for you to, I just couldn't live with the fact that a printed part was on the front when the nice thing about this bot is there's a lot of important metal pieces. So this one's a beauty plate. But it'll be nice to have a little splash of color. Whatever you decide to paint your bot, if you decide to paint it, you can use that faceplate. So that's new. You didn't see the cases and the handle all installed. So there you go. That's the base model 298. We're finally done. We're shipping. It's not changing. We'll post the files. I think it's realistic to say those files will be posted tomorrow. I'm hoping. All the STL files, if you want to check it out and start printing those, or at least look at what we've done. These all are done too, Steve, right? All the metal parts. We can post those tomorrow. I think we're done tweaking everything. So it forces us to like get our ducks in a row and get this stuff live so that we make good on our open source company promise. So there you go. Now, what does it look like if you do an upgrade? I'm going to show you two upgrades. One upgrade is the X. We're going to go to 6 using that extra little space I've given you. 6 inches deep, 8 inches wide, and we're going to show you the 12 millimeter. Look at that beast. What I love about this is oh man, that stupid hole size. I don't care that I'm telling them that I screwed up on this hole size. On the ones that we ship, this problem won't bother you. But because it bothered me so much, I fix it. Anyway, so this is it's almost as big. I don't even have one in here, do I? I don't want to show that one. So this is almost as big as the old Simple. In fact, it's just slightly taller. It's about the same on the bed. It's a little more shallow this direction. But the crazy thing about this is, I'll show it from all 4 angles. This is the 12 millimeter upgrade from the base Smalls. Now, what you're seeing is 2 upgrades. You're seeing the X upgrade. This upgrade will be $80, just like the Play bed upgrade. We just put 4 new holes in it. So it's the same as the Play upgrade, but it happens to be X, not Y. On the Play, it's the Y. So you get the bed and the bars and the belt. The heat bed, which isn't on here right now. Oh, good, there's room. And you can opt whether or not you get an ATX case. So without the ATX, I say case, power supply. So you can opt to just get the $80 bed and heat and thermistor and bars and belt. Or how much is it with the ATX? $135. $135?
Unless we go with the other one.
I don't remember. Oh, right. No, we're going to go with the ATX. So the ATX that we've been shipping, if you want a heated bed, you got to have power. So, of course, you could use the $80 one without a heat bed, but you should get an ATX. You don't have to order from me. I don't care. So that's an $80 upgrade at minimum. And then these bars are actually the bars that I used in the Plus. I talked to Brian today. He used to be my engineer, and Brian said, yeah, it looks like you're using up a bunch of parts you had laying around. I said, exactly. So I had a lot of these bars for the Plus. The cool thing about that is it forced us to change the design in the bottom. So the clamps for the 12 millimeter bars are actually out of aluminum. This will change just slightly, but you won't even notice it. And there's an aluminum piece. You probably can't see it, but there's an aluminum piece at the bottom. So it's very strong. It's extremely sturdy. It feels very, very rigid because we've got aluminum holding the bars on the top and the bottom. Now, these are printed kind of sleeves for the 12, what is it, LME 12 UU, or 12 LME UU, I always forget. But there's a specific 12 millimeter bearing we have on here. These are printed sleeves, and they go into existing holes. So to utilize this upgrade and this upgrade, oh, by the way, this upgrade, I think we decided on $100. All that machining, you know, there's money involved. Now, this upgrade, I decided I'm not going to let you do 1/4-16 Acme or whatever, threaded rod or whatever you want to call it. I am forcing, in this upgrade, you got to have the force start. And one benefit of that is you can do this. You can just move that down. And so this is not trapped at the top. You may see that float a little bit from the centrifugal force. But you can, oh, and it has this beautiful, very, very hard grade of Delrin Acme nut. So this is really nice, and this is the right way to do it. So you're going to have to get the force start. What I mean is it comes with the kit. So you get this. it's the same coupler. Is it the same coupler? No, it's a different coupler. So you get a new coupler, an Acme rod, the bars, the 2 aluminum pieces. There's a little Delrin spacer here, and then there's a metal piece down here as a spacer. Those spacers, we can water jet spacers or laser cut spacers and minimize our cost on the aluminum, so $100. So we got upgrades of $180 here on a $298 bot. So 300, 405, so less than $500, and where the old Simple was it $599?
Yes.
It was about $600 for the old Simple.
No heated bed.
Without a heated bed, and 666 inches of build volume. And with this, you're under 500, if I did my math right. I think I did. You're under 500, and you've got 8 by 6 by 10, which is ridiculous. So that's all the way down. So you got 10 inches of travel there. So that's pretty cool. So it pays to use parts you had laying around. We've really gone to a lot of trouble in our design to make sure that we're maximizing these parts for you. It's actually nice. You're not constrained when you don't use a case, when you don't put it inside a box, when you don't have to allow all that extra travel. Holy crap, there's a beard hair stuck in here. How did that happen? That's awesome. Sorry. Anyway, so these are the 2 models, and there you go. So 2 upgrades there, base model there. Awesome. The other thing I want to tell you about is Carl. Carl Ubis came by today, and then I'm getting ready for questions. So if you got questions, start firing them to Dave. You got any yet?
Not yet.
Okay. We got any viewers yet?
Yep.
Oh, we got at least one.
We have more than one.
More than one. So anyway, so now we have specifics. I actually had one guy on Twitter, or I forget what it was, Google Plus or Twitter. Actually, he emailed me. By the way, you can email me, but if it's stupid, I won't answer. I guess that's not a polite way to say it, but basically what I'm saying is if you're a nice person, email me, it's fine. Brook at Printerbot.com. If you're going to yell at me and curse at me, just don't email me. But he was a nice guy, and he was actually pretty straightforward, and he said, listen, I don't know what you're selling and what you're not selling, what parts come with it, what is the upgrades, what do we have to do. So I hope I've made it more clear. How have I done, Dave? Has it been fairly clear?
You've done so good.
I don't want, just seriously.
I wasn't listening. I was posting pictures.
Okay, cool.
I feel like that was as
Pretty
clear as
good.
it's ever been.
This is what it is. Just to go over it one more time. This is what it is. 1, 2, 3 parts. Actually 4. There's a little faceplate on the back. You're going to have to print it to look like that. This one, 2 different upgrades. It'll end up looking like this if you print this and this.
Updated pictures at the product page. I'll put a link up for that.
Great. So we're putting updated pictures of these. We just took them. So everything completely as you should expect it will be on the product pages for these upgrades. And I believe these upgrades will be available now. So you can do these upgrades right now. And if you do buy these upgrades and you already ordered, we're splitting them all, you know what I mean? So if you've already ordered a base, we will check tomorrow before we ship any of those. And if we can credit you shipping and get it in on the same, that'll be fine. So we'll check those. One other upgrade I do want to mention. This isn't ready to rock yet, but I wanted to show you. There's an upgrade that we're going to put as an option for this. Now, there's printed parts. And, I did a Kickstarter with printed parts. But printed parts are difficult. I mean, we've been doing a lot of, it's been a long time since I've had a bot farm and printed parts that we're going to ship. And I've seen Prush's parts, and they're beautiful, and other people, Taz, they're beautiful. So, we're kind of like, oh, wow, we got to make them beautiful. So these parts, they look really, really good, and they're getting better all the time. And what I mean by better is it's taking us, we're trimming the material out so we can print faster. We're making sure the strength is there, etc. But if I had my way, I have CNC machines, I would machine this stuff. The problem is you can't do that for cheap. So we have what I'm calling, it's right here on the table. I'll hold these parts up, Dave, but we're calling this little upgrade, which is going to include these parts and I think that's all of them, is what I call the precision upgrade. And all this means is we're going to take some key mechanical movement components that support the mechanical movements, and we're going to make them out of Delrin or aluminum. And I only say or because these two parts are actually the only ones that should be done in aluminum, have to be done in aluminum. We didn't have the aluminum size we needed, so this is a form of Delrin here. So I just wanted to give you a representation. So in the printer, these work together like this, and they support the Z. So they're key. They go they get the Z perfectly perpendicular to the base. So if you do these in metal, it's just more rigid. Is this good enough? Because these are all printed parts. No machined aluminum or Delrin in this. Just an injection molded extruder. I think I'm right on that. That's pretty much it. Everything else is printed. So, I mean, we have, when we can, we use water jet parts. But this is going to be the precision upgrade. Aluminum, X motor, and Z motor mount, which also holds the Z rods. The Y arm bar ends in Delrin for a perfect fit on the bars, more strength on the belt tensioner and the belt tie-off. So those will be Delrin. And then because there's a Z-rod on this base unit bar end incorporated into that part, you only need 3 Delrin blocks. I call them bar end blocks for here, here, and there. So we're going to do that, and it'll cost what it costs. I haven't done the cost analysis yet. But if you're kind of like, oh, I don't want printed parts, I want machine parts, those are the ones that we'll offer. That's an upgrade. All right, so now we're done with the Smalls. One embarrassing thing I do want to show you is we've been working on it today, but when I design, I think I told you, I design and I hack stuff together, and it looks really bad, and it works really bad, and that gives me like a reference to show my engineers and myself when I want to go ahead and draw it up in 3D and see, because if it's not pretty and it's not functional and it doesn't make total sense and it's not obvious, I don't want to release it. So I'm going to show you something that I'm not going to release yet. Look at this monstrosity. I wondered if it was possible to do a version of the Smalls that incorporates this plus bed. And the answer right now is, well, maybe. I think so. But I'm not going to do it like this because this kind of sucked. Check this out, though. It's huge! So I'll tell you what we're changing, and then I'll show it to you next week. So I thought, oh, wow, this would be awesome to put this like a 90-degree turn, and we'll do it this way, and we'll have this big bed, and we'll put bolt holes on the base so they can just put in the bars. And the more I looked at it, it was like, well, I don't like that, and I don't like this, and some of this is working, but not all of it. So anyway, so this does work. Does it print? I didn't even bother to check, to be honest. But I will tell you that even though you can see it move right now, it's pretty surprisingly rigid. But we can do better. So what we're doing is we're doing 2 bars. They're going to be about this far apart. The holes are already in the base so that you'll have 2 of these old plus linear rails bolted to the base. I've got feet. There'll be feet here with little stoppers. So the base of this will be very, very wide. So it's not going to be tipsy. Right now I've simulated that just by putting some, I actually stood on this in my office and kind of went like that. But it's very strong if you utilize these bars. So it's going to look something like this, but I turn this back the way it should be, and this is rigid. So the way that we can, to do the arm that moves back and forth, you make some sacrifices. So on this plus, so it's 10-10. I call it the 10x, 10y. this version of the Smalls, this upgrade for the bed, it will give you 10, 10 in the X and Y. Now, what you do with the Z is up to you. You can keep it stock, which is a little bit of a waste, but if you're doing flat parts, you could. If you want to go really tall, 10 inches tall, you'll actually have a bot that prints as big as the current Plus. I don't know how much this will be yet, so don't ask, because I don't know. I'll tell you soon. But this will all be, it'll look so much better. But I think it's kind of fun to show you something that I will first get ridiculed for. And then you can be amazed how awesome it is next week, okay? So I got to get that off the table. All right, Carl Ubis came to me today, and he said, hey, Brook, I've got the first run of the final production high flow hot end. So we're calling this the Ubis, his last name is Ubis, Ubis 13HF. And that's just shorthand for high flow. So what's different about this? All the tweaking is done on this. And here's the changes. It looks very much the same, except that it has another ceramic insulator here. Does that mean there's two heaters? No, it doesn't. These are custom wound bobbins that you can't see it under there, but there's an aluminum bobbin, custom winding. It's exactly the amount of wraps that you need to achieve the particular power. This is 33 watts of power at 12 volts. What you will, if you have one of these, you'll notice that this piece here, which is anodized aluminum, it is a hex shape now, so that you can hold it with a wrench, and you should do it when it's hot, change out the tips. So we're doing this high flow. It kind of came about because I was doing the old Big E, the prosthetic bot. I wanted to go faster with both NinjaFlex and regular material, and you top out with a 1 millimeter nozzle. I was topping out with the Big E. It was about a 1 millimeter nozzle, and we were going 80 millimeters a second. That's a lot of volume because it's a big tip. And it just wasn't, I wanted to go to 100, so it just wasn't doing it. And sometimes it would fail at like 60, but again, with a 1 millimeter nozzle. So I thought, we got to have something bigger, and the prosthetic bot will benefit from this. NinjaFlex will benefit from this. You can just go a lot faster. So with a longer melt zone, and Carl's got this dialed in to where it just performs fantastic. So we are doing some larger tips. So this one is 0.4 that comes on it. There's also let me arrange them here. What? Okay. So we've got a 0.75, a 0.4, a 0.75, a 1.0, a 1.25, and a 1.5 tip. These are longer tips than the regular ones. You can't just swap them out. It's a longer tip because it's a longer melt zone. So that goes all the way up to the top there to mate with the brass. So what's cool is I've got, 10. I've got 10 of these with these 5 tips that Carl would like me to give away. So how are we going to do that? Well, he told me, I just don't want to be like, watch, and like the first 10 people. That isn't happening because when I've done that in the past, it turns out that some people get free stuff, which is great, but the wrong people get free stuff. This is a first release. So if you're willing, I need help to put this through its paces. And what I mean is they're really big tips, and it's a high volume. How fast can we go, and how much volume can we extrude? What does it do with different materials? So I just have 10 of them I'm going to give away. And so the way that you can state your case, and what I mean is I'm going to read these entries and decide who gets one. And I'm going to just handpick 10 people to get this, and I'll cover the shipping. It's U.S. only. So if you're outside of the USA, I'm sorry, but I want to save money on shipping since I'm paying. And Carl's eating the cost of making these. So where do we submit that, Dave? So it's go to printerbot.com/ubis- Is that a hyphen or a dash?
Dash.
Okay.
I'm supposed to know.
13HF-giveaway. That's printerbot.com, Ubis-13HF-giveaway. And we'll put this in the, the description, the notes. We can probably just copy it and paste it into Facebook right now. But anyway, so state your case. If you are somebody that is scientific in nature and can do some tests with this hot end and find out its limitations. We want the community to tell us what its limitations are. I don't want to tell you what the limitations are because you can't trust CEOs. Seriously. Okay, you can trust some CEOs. But I don't want to do a marketing spiel. This is awesome. It's better than the Volcano, blah, blah, blah. Let's just have you tell me if it's competitive with the Volcano or not. We'd like to know. It will be competitive in price. Right now, without being able to promise anything, this will be under $100. So I'm thinking $99 for this. It is more expensive to make. It'll be a lower run, which drives the cost up. So it's not apples to apples. So anyway, 10 people. State your case at printerbot.com, Ubis-13HF-giveaway. And just write a couple of sentences about why you'll do a good job seeing what in the world this thing does. And I'll handpick them. And so there it is. All right, we got any questions? We are at, 27 minutes or something?
Yes.
If you got a question, ask it.
I have one. Do you give tours of your plants?
Do I give tours at Printrbot? Yeah, I do. But here's the thing. I need to know ahead of time. So you can email me and ask. That's fine. If it gets to be like too disruptive, then I'll probably need to schedule days to have groups come. But believe me, I showed you the shop. It's very low key. So you might want to think twice before saying, I'm going to go to Printrbot and check it out. It's not that exciting. Seriously. But if you want to come and, I like to say, if you're going to come up for a tour, let's just cap it at 30 minutes or something. It doesn't take long to walk through the building. I'm happy to have guests, but we are manufacturing all the time. I mean, we're working all the time. So you just don't want to get in the way of us doing business. We got customers to serve. So yeah, we give tours on a just ask me and when am I around and in town. What else you got? If that's it, we can just end.
Really?
Okay. Anything? Am I missing anything, Dave?
Not that I can recall.
Okay. So big week. We're shipping the Smalls. We've got some upgrades available right now.
If you want to tell them about the Omni trips.
Oh yeah.
Omni Labs trip.
There's a video online right now that you guys, if you want to go see me and a couple of guys, there's a few guys that build robots. Omni Labs, they're doing a Indiegogo right now it's kind of like a telepresence robot. And I have to say, I checked them out and I've been in touch with them for a while. I was interested because they use Printerbots to run a bot farm. I think it's 16 pluses. That's in the ballpark, 15 or 16 pluses. And they actually have a Big E. And then they kind of cloned, sorry. They kind of cloned the Big E with some open build stuff, which is totally cool. And they have 2 Big E style printers to do this big base. But they print everything except some water jet stuff for this robot that rolls around. It's kind of like a really robust Roomba type thing. It's flat and big and round. Rolls around, has a pole with teleconferencing, speaker and microphone, and a Android tablet that actually can articulate at the top. And so we've got just a little bit of a demo in a video that we did. But I just interviewed him, and I just was talking with him, and Dave shot some video. So we've edited that and put it online. And you should go check out their Indiegogo campaign right now. I think they're over $100,000, and the more the merrier. It's, I think, around $1,500. Man, they'll kill me if I'm wrong. Something like that. Maybe it's $2,000. But I am actually going to do a trade or something because I want one of these. It's great for grandma. She's alone in Walnut Creek, and if I could get her this robot, we could have the grandkids be able to talk with her and even drive around the house and follow her, see what she's doing. So very cool. Omni Labs. And I got one more question. Have you talked about the Smalls instruction manual? And, oh, got two more questions. Somebody asked, have you talked about the Smalls instruction manual? So we will, no, because it doesn't exist. But it will! So we're publishing files tomorrow, and we are putting in a Fusion 360. We love Autodesk. We're putting the whole model in Fusion 360 and publishing that live. So you will be able to see every nut, every bolt, every part on here in Fusion 360. You can export it. You can make your own. It doesn't matter. And we use those to do kind of like screws flying in. Here's how you assemble the extruder. You know, it's like really graphical. But I will also be doing a video build. And so I've already written one version of the instructions on how to build it. But then I changed like a whole bunch of parts, so I got to do it again. But it is written, and it is, there's pictures, and we'll do a build video as well. So since we shipped the first one today, I have to get on that immediately. So guess what I'll be doing tomorrow? As far as a manual, we do those online. So it's much like our other bots that we've made. If you can get it together, how to run the electronics, how to use this extruder, troubleshooting guides, and all of that, it's the same for all of our bots. So there's a lot of information on Printrbot.com if you just click on support. So any chance of a dual extruder upgrade for the Smalls? No. Just not interested. Can you demo a crawlbot on one of these someday? Yeah, I actually talked to Jeremy Black this week. We've got our vacuum table built for our crawlbot. And so now we're set to do, he's going to contact me next week, and maybe we can do one next week. No promises, but there's some, I want to make 2 Adirondack chairs for my backyard. And I'm going to do that on the crawlbot. Jeremy Black is a local guy. He's law enforcement. I've been friends with him for years, and he's done renovations and custom kitchens and cabinets and theaters and like all this stuff. This guy is very, very knowledgeable on CNC and woodworking. And he is really interested in the crawlbot. He was like, man, his CNC was like 12 feet long, 8 feet wide, 6 feet wide. It weighed tons, and it costs, 6 figures. And I showed him my little crawlbot, and he was like, dude, it's limited on what it can do. It can't do the big things that I did. He had tool changers and everything. But he was like, this crawlbot is awesome for somebody in their garage. You got to have a good table. So he forced me to like build a good table and a vacuum table. So we've built that, and we're going to release the plans to that. You can build it with a saw table. That was it, a saw table and a chop saw. And then once we got it built, we did use the crawlbot to, a vacuum table is a sealed box, and it has holes in it, and then routed guides along the top. So when you put your spoil board down on the top, it sucks it down really tight. And oddly, MDF is porous. And so we got a new shop vac, and I was amazed at how tightly that vacuum table will hold through the spoiler board your, plywood that you're going to cut with crawlbot. It was so tight when I pushed on just that top plywood, it moved the whole table. So it's crazy. So anyway, now that we've got a really good setup, yeah, we're going to do that. So we will demo the crawlbot, and it's loud, I'll tell you that. It's going to be awful audio. We'll probably have to do a video ahead of time and just show the clip of it cutting because it's loud. So anyway, well, great to see you guys. I don't see you. Why did I say that? Great for you to see me. I don't know. I'm glad somebody's tuning in and somebody's asking questions. We're excited about launching today. So I hope you have a good week and enjoy your weekend. I will. So we'll see you next week on Printerbot Live, 4:30 Thursday. See ya.